Hello, today we have with us Ajay Kumar Singh sir, retired LG. Sir, how has your experience been with the exhibition at the conclave?
I think this has been really wonderful. It's been, I would say, your mind opens up. You know about these things, but when you put them together, when you piece them together, these are all individual. तो एक मोतियों की माला बन जाती है. तो exhibition is like a mala, complete garland is there. So every moti from our own, spiritual heritage, from our shastra, from our ancient Rajniti, in terms of geopolitics, has been gleaned and taken out, and it has been explained, and it has been put in a beautiful perspective, and how beautifully, right from an individual to a family. So the same norms that through which a head of the family governs a family, its applicability on a global scale, I think that has been explained in a very profound manner, in a very simple and in a very lucid manner. I think a lot of efforts, and I must compliment people who have put in effort. I'm sure it would have taken a whole lot of effort to sort of piece it together, but I think it's beautiful. And I very strongly feel while you have this here, only limited number of people would be able to sort of have a look at it. But if you convert it into a coffee table book, if you convert it into reels, if you convert it into some kind of a web series, then it stays eternally. Then people can sort of look. So I would very strongly request if these things could be done for a wider audience.
So what are your opinions on the topic that was selected for today's panel discussion, and your opinion on the views of Maharaj Ji?
I think the topics were very right, very appropriate, very topical. Like the first one itself, whether we need it today. I think there is no better time than now when we need it. Then we need to find out our own, spiritual values, ancient Rajniti, those principles, and check their applicability for today. Because if you look around, there is a conflict, there is an anarchy, there is a disorder. And it's very clear that the Western order sort of is giving way. And there is an emergence of new order, and that's why this word Sankraman Kal becomes so important. That means there is a Sankraman, there is a transition which is happening. So when a transition happens, then it's important that when an old thought seems to be crumbling, or a system or an order is crumbling, then where is the new thought? Okay. So I think this is a beautiful way of putting the new thoughts into it. Then coming to the specifics, what are those principles of ancient Rajniti which needs to be revamped, and what would be the point, of resistance? So I think all of it. So it's a very holistic treatment, and I'm really amazed at Guruji's, wisdom. I would say wisdom. He has this innate ability to simplify a complex issue and come to the crux of the complex issue. Like, for example, in geopolitics, his one word, Nyay. I think Nyay is most important.
Definitely.
So if you have Nyay, if you have justice, I think then everything would fall into place.
Right.
So, and Dharma is nothing but Nyay. So I think he's been really amazing, and very great thought process have come. And I'm sure that I think it started, this is the first time that I'm attending, but I believe it started in a very modest scale. And I was there with Dr. Arvind Gupta, who's the director of the Vivekananda International Foundation. He has been associated with it throughout. I think it has really taken a very nice shape, and I only wish that it sort of comes on to even a global scale also.
So like you were mentioning, Guruji talking about Nyay. So he stated in the discussion that the actual thing should be rule of justice and
Correct.
not rule of law.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very right, because what happens is who made the law, in what context were the law. More often than not, people who are in power will create laws or rules which sort of benefit them. And if those are the rules and everything is moving around those rules, and the justice is also sort of given in accordance with those rules, then it's not justice. So I think what he said is absolutely right. So it's not the rule-based order, it is a justice-based order. Justice in its purity form. And he's given an open challenge to everybody that, look, tell me one single example, take out one single example in any context where you feel that justice, is this. It'll come to that absolute term.
Right.
I think there is no better sort of a validation than this open challenge. That I don't think there is even a single sort of an incident where you can say that applicability is not there. It has a universal. It has an eternal application.
Sir, I would like to ask you about what do you think of the role of women in ancient as well as present times in Rajniti?
I think it's very, very important. What you have asked is a very moot question. I think the women need to come up and play a very important role. In our society also, right from the beginning, women always played a very important role. Women were, great scholars. Women were great administrators. Women were great rulers. It was always there. Just in between, this few hundred years, when the Mughals came, and primarily because what the Mughals did, I think that's how, a overprotection of the women started, the Parda system and keeping them aloof. It was primarily a protective thing, but somehow in a cultural milieu over a period of time, it sort of developed into a tradition. I think now is a time that a woman needs to come up, because in our culture also, Shakti, like I'm from armed forces, we represent Shakti. So actually the armed forces represent the feminine element. So the feminine element is extremely important. And like I, quoted that Navaran mantra. Just imagine this Navaran mantra is actually a prayer to the goddess. This is what goddess bestows. And in a way, this is how you must apply the Shakti. Every constituent of it, and just for the benefit, so that it reaches the, it's Om, Eng, Ring, Kling, Chamundaya, Viche. But what it means is, hey, Brahm Rupini, hey, Mahashakti, mujhe Brahm mein sthit kar, gati, mati, nirmalta, shanti और स्थिरता प्रदान कर. हे क्षमा मूर्ति, मुझे मर्यादा में रख, शीलवान, विनम्र और विजयी बना, दुख, रोग, भय और संकटों से मेरी रक्षा कर. हे आनंदमयी माँ, मुझे मधुरता, प्रेम, प्रसन्नता, उत्साह, भावना, सिद्धि, संपन्नता, तुष्टि और पूर्णता प्रदान कर. परम पराक्रम वाली अजय रौद्रोपिणी चंडी के प्रसन्न हो जाए. Imagine every attribute. If just one follows every attribute, you don't have to look further. Now, I think Navaran mantra is the end all of everything. And just look at the last word, Purnata. There is one more very good shlok. It says, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. It's so beautiful. He's complete. He's also complete. When completeness merges in completeness, what the resultant is completeness. When completeness is taken out of completeness, what remains is also completeness. Right. Essentially saying that all of the Brahmand, everything, all of us are complete in ourselves. Right. We don't have to look anywhere else to complete ourselves. We are Poon. We have to just realize that we are Poon and we are complete. We need nothing to complete ourselves. Let's see, what a profound statement.
So you answered it very beautifully.
Like you say, Aham Brahmasmi. It's not it's not from an ego state of point that you say Aham Brahmasmi. It's basically that there is no distinction between you and the God when you have the godly qualities. It's something like a drop, an ocean drop, which has come out of the ocean. In that drop is the ocean. It's not separate from the ocean. Okay. When it merges, it becomes the ocean. Okay. So there is no distinction. So between Atma and Paramatma, there is absolutely no distinction. So such are the profound principles of our own, and I would say spirituality is the core value. Okay. If we imbibe the spiritual values, I think nothing can go wrong. Right. I think it's time for us to come back to our core principles of spirituality. Right. And spirituality is a science. People confuse spirituality with dharma, religion, but no, that's not fair and that's not right. It's a science. It's a science to understand who am I. When you buy a car, what do? You read the manual. You want to know how to drive the car. You have a body. Would you not want to know what is the body doing? How to take care of this body, how to run this body, what to think, what not to think. Spirituality is that science, is the manual of you. Right. So you must understand that manual. You must understand yourself. So it's a science to understand who am I. If you understand who you are, then anything and everything is feasible.
So now I'd like to come to a short rapid fire round where you'll have to answer instantly, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
Ancient Rajniti relevant today or outdated?
Absolutely relevant.
Ethics and geopolitics, ideal or necessity?
I think it's necessity.
National interest, power or principle first?
I think it's the principles. The principles are important than just merely the national interest.
Sankraman Kal, risk or opportunity?
I think it's an opportunity.
Moral leadership, realistic or unrealistic?
It's absolutely realistic.